Hey students, this is lesson 521. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to deal with monomials, binomials, and trinomials, and general polynomials. We're going to learn some different things, some strategies to simplify them. This is just a quick review of something we've already done here, and let's just talk quickly about that and a look at a new way to look at this area model to help us learn how to multiply together polynomials. So anyway, if you start with a square with a side like m, that's right there, add a 3 centimeter strip to one side of that square. So originally the square is m by m, but we're going to add 3 down here. And then, now if you remember from what we've done in the past, there's 2 ways to represent that. One way is m times the quantity m plus 3, which is this width times this length, m plus 3. And the other way is by adding the inside areas together, which is m squared for this area and 3 times m for this. So we learned how to do the distributive property by looking at area models like this. Okay? Well, let's say we have that original square, and then we add onto both dimensions. So here's our original m squared here. And we added 3 to the length and 1 to the width. Here's the 1. Here's the 3. Well, now we have a new rectangle that's a little bit bigger. And notice we have 4 areas that we have to add together to get the area of that. So the 2 ways we could represent this area is we could just take this length, which is m plus 3, times this width, which is m plus 1. And that's area. Remember, area is just length times width. The other way we could represent it is by adding the 4 parts together that you see here. Now this part here is 3 by m, so that part's 3m. This part right here is 1 by m, so 1m. And this little part right here is 1 by 3, so 1 times 3 is 3. Well, now we can add the areas of those parts together, m squared plus 3m plus m plus 3. And we can simplify that a little. These 2 are like terms, so we get m squared plus 4m plus 3. We're going to be using models like that to help us solve these. There's some terms that you need to know, so we'll get those out of the way. A monomial is what we're going to think of as a single term. And a monomial is when consists of only multiplying variables in number. Here's an example. A binomial is the sum or difference of 2 monomials. An example would look like this. And a trinomial is the sum or difference of 3 monomials. So something like this, m squared plus 4m plus 5. All right, make sure you fill in those definitions. Okay, now what we're going to talk about is how you multiply and divide monomials. I'm going to go to the next page here. And it says, sketch a model of the area represented by the product x plus 2 times quantity x plus 4, just so you get used to this. So x squared would just look like this. If we add 2 to this dimension, so let's just make up a length for that, and we add 4 to this dimension, and then we fill in this new rectangle, and then we can represent this also another way as x squared plus 2x plus 4x plus 4 times 2 is 8. So there's 2 ways to represent that. All right. I'm going to go down here to this example here, dividing 2x plus 6 times 2. We're going to work on that one. First of all, let's just remember what it means to like multiply an expression like this one. 3 times the quantity, 2k plus 3. Using the distributive property, that would be So we do 3 times 2k, which is 6k, and then we do 3 times 3, which is 9. Well, I just wanted to review that because we're going to learn how to divide things like that. And so go to the next page and find this example right here. We want to divide 2x plus 6 and divide that by 2. Now what I want you to think about is what number, when you do division, like if you do 8 divided by 2, that equals 4. So you're looking for the number that you multiply by 2 to equal 8. So if 8 divided by 2 is 4, then also 4 times 2 is equal to 8. So if we didn't know what that number was, we could think of, well, what number times 2 equals 8? So let's think of that same idea here. When I'm dividing 2x plus 6 by 2, let's try and think of what number times 2, put it down there, equals 2x plus 6. All right? So now I know that I'm multiplying by 2 and I need to get 2x, so I need to multiply that by x. And then what number times 2 is 6? And that is 3. So my answer when I divide this is x plus 3. Now some of you might notice this. Another way to think of dividing by 2, and I'll give you a couple ways to think about this, is when you're dividing by the same number, an expression like this, a binomial, you can split up that division like you use the distributive property. So I can divide the 2x by the 2, and then I'm going to divide the 6 by the 2. Well, 2x divided by 2 is just 1x, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that's another way you can think of that. One other way you can think of it is 2x plus 6 divided by 2 is the same as 2x plus 6 times the reciprocal of 2, which is 1/2. So 1/2 times quantity 2x plus 6 multiplying by 1/2 is the same as dividing by 2. And then I can use the distributive property. 1/2 times 2 is 1x, and 1/2 times 6 is 3. So there's a couple ways you can think of this. So I'll do one more with you. Let's look here at number 8. We're going to do 4x squared minus 10x divided by 2x. So let's try and think of what number times 2x, and I'll use parentheses here, equals 4x squared minus 10x. So what number times 2x equals 4x squared? Well, we know 2 times 2 is 4, and x times x is x squared. Then you have to think of, we're going to put a minus there since this is minus. What number times 2 is 10? And that would be 5. And we have x already and an x here, so we're done there. So the answer is 2x equals 5. Now, I think I'd rather think of this way though. So 4x squared minus 10x divided by 2x. Just split that division up using the distributive property. So we have 4x squared divided by 2x minus 10x divided by 2x. And that equals 4 divided by 2 is 2. X squared divided by x. Remember, you subtract when you're dividing. So subtract the powers. 2 minus 1 is 1. X to the first. And whenever it's x to the first, we don't bother putting that power there. And then here we have 10 divided by 2, which is 5. And x divided by x is just 1. So 5 times 1 is just 5. And there's your answer. All right, we're going to be working more on that in class. Go ahead and try a couple problems. Maybe try this one and this one. And then we'll talk more about this next time we meet in class.